This is Plant-Based Briefing, 5 Keys to Thriving Emotionally as a Vegan by Angela Crawford, PhD, at Main Street Vegan Academy at mainstreetvegan.com. I'm Marian Erickson, and this is the Plant-Based Podcast where I curate, get permission, and narrate a variety of articles on plant-based and vegan living in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. And I'm pleased to have permission from Main Street Vegan Academy to share their content. And I'm also pleased to announce that I've connected with Angela Crawford. She has a doctorate in clinical psychology and previously worked for 25 years as a psychotherapist. She has her certification in plant-based nutrition from the T. Colin Campbell Institute for Nutrition Studies at Cornell, and certification as a master vegan lifestyle coach and educator with Main Street Vegan Academy. She also has a YouTube channel, speaks at conferences, offers educational programs on thriving emotionally and socially as a vegan, and she has a blog on her website with many articles in addition to the ones she writes for Main Street Vegan Academy. And she's given me permission to share her content as well. So look for or listen for more from her in the future. And now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. 5 Keys to Thriving Emotionally as a Vegan by Angela Crawford, PhD, at mainstreetvegan.com. Shifting to a vegan lifestyle is one of the most empowering decisions we can make. Choosing to leave animals off our plates and eating life-nourishing plant foods can bring inner peace, purpose, vitality, and health transformation. And yet, even as we strive to live compassionately and healthfully, we may face emotional challenges along our path. Stepping outside societal norms can be stressful, especially early on our vegan journey. We bond with others through shared meals and traditions around food. Now we must discover new ways to navigate social gatherings. We've discovered a powerful lifestyle that promotes the well-being of humans, animals, and the planet, but may find ourselves on the receiving end of opposition or defensiveness from others, simply in response to saying we're vegan. On top of that, when we learn about the devastating consequences of animal agriculture, we may feel sad, angry, or disillusioned. We urgently try to tell others about the suffering of animals, or the impact on human health, or the environment, assuming that they will be upset as we were, only to be dismissed or ignored. Carrying these realizations alone can create feelings of isolation and alienation. Thus, as vegans, we may experience joy and fulfillment, as well as times of sadness and frustration. In addition, we're not immune to the normal stressors of everyday life. So, how do we flourish as we strive to live more compassionately, healthfully, and sustainably? Let's discuss 5 tips for handling emotional challenges with grace and resilience. Number 1, remember your why. What led you to move toward a plant-based lifestyle? Compassion for animals? Healing from disease? Living more lightly on the planet? Whatever your motivations, reconnecting with your why helps you remain intentional about your lifestyle choices. Honoring your convictions creates fulfillment, even amid challenging circumstances. Write a statement encapsulating your why and review it daily. 2, find vegan support. Healthy relationships are essential to our physical and emotional well-being. To thrive as a vegan, we need meaningful connections with others who share our values and commitment. When we bond around shared passions, we no longer feel alone. We find relief and comfort in our common experience. Our kindred connections encourage us and offer wise guidance. You can connect with other vegans through online forums, local groups, conferences, and veg fests. Number 3, include yourself in your circle of care. Many vegans are compassionate toward non-human animals, but forget that we too are animals with physical, emotional, and spiritual needs. As we extend kindness and care to all beings, we need to include ourselves. This means eating colorful plant foods to nourish our nervous system, restorative sleep, time for renewal, movement, and uplifting activities like time in nature, creative endeavors, or spiritual practices. You may wish to write a self-care prescription to nourish your mind, body, and soul. 4, manage and process emotions. Thriving doesn't mean being free of difficult emotions. Rather, it honors the full emotional spectrum while learning to accept and make meaning of our more painful feelings. Even emotions we label as negative have important adaptive functions, helping us to recognize our valid needs. However, we need tools for processing and releasing our feelings, such as mindfulness skills, yoga, breathing exercises, and/or healing techniques like EFT or emotional freedom technique linked here. It's also important to know when to seek help. If your emotional symptoms interfere with daily functioning, working with a therapist or other qualified professional can make a world of difference. In Defense of Animals provides a list of therapists who are sensitive to vegan issues, linked here. And number 5, communicate proactively. Early on my vegan journey, I was caught off guard at social gatherings that had no vegan options. I quickly realized that to thrive with this lifestyle, I would need to develop skills to handle social situations while staying true to my needs and values. This meant speaking up with hosts ahead of time to ensure there were vegan options, bringing great vegan dishes to social gatherings, checking restaurant menus online, and being more assertive with family and friends. Dr. Melanie Joy's book, Beyond Beliefs, linked here, is a helpful resource for handling common relational challenges faced by vegans. Thriving emotionally as a vegan means appreciating the many positives of plant-powered living while learning to navigate challenging situations. To truly embody our vegan values, we must also nurture our own self-resilience and emotional well-being. You just listened to 5 Keys to Thriving Emotionally as a Vegan by Angela Crawford, PhD, at Main Street Vegan Academy at mainstreetvegan.com. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. And yep, I can relate to all of this, especially where she talks about how when we learn about the devastating consequences of animal agriculture and use of animals in so many other ways as well, we may feel sad, angry, disillusioned. Oh my goodness, I was an angry vegan, and I was just so distraught that people wouldn't listen and didn't want to know. And I don't know that those emotions have actually gone away. I think I understand. Well, I know I understand people better, and I'm better at managing them now. But it's not always easy. I personally cannot be around people when they're eating animals. For my mental health, I don't do it. I've taken the Liberation Pledge, and it has saved me a lot of emotional distress. But for the most part, I have to shove the feelings down because otherwise I'd just be crying all day long every day. I can't allow myself to really think about what is happening to these beautiful, innocent, defenseless animals because it just brings me to tears. And sometimes it just hits me out of the blue, catches me off guard if I'm walking through a grocery store sometimes, and I'll tear up. Or I think I've mentioned this before, but if I see a little kid eating ice cream, they're so joyful, but they have no clue what they're participating in. And it just breaks my heart. But these are great tips, especially remember your why. Sometimes I get frustrated with doing this podcast, and having to do 5 episodes every single week takes so much time away from my paying work. But then I think, oh my goodness, what is that to me compared to what these innocents are going through? And then I'm embarrassed and ashamed that I had those feelings. But yeah, finding vegan support is so important. And you may live in a place where there are no other vegans, but they are out there. We are out there online. If you'd like to listen to some other episodes about vegan emotions, vegan trauma, that kind of thing, I'll link these in the show notes, but check out 66, The Vegan's Trauma by Dr. Shiri Raz at All Creatures, 166, Vystopia, The Anguish of Being Vegan in a Non-Vegan World by Michael O'Fay at theminimalistvegan.com, 555, Awakening Compassion by Angela Crawford at mainstreetvegan.com, 737 and 738, Why Vegans Won't Tell You They're Vegan by Emily Moran Barwick at bitesizevegan.org. So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.